Fala gurizada medonha das minhas redes sociais. Hoje eu estou aqui com o meu professor de Bitcoin, Ariel Aguilar. And now we are going to speak in English because he's from Argentina and from Brazil. We could speak Spanish. My Spanish is not the best of the world, but we could. But I think that's better for you on the other side of the video to listen it in English. So let's see what Ariel has to teach us in this day. It's a beautiful day in Buenos Aires and I am wearing Argentina's t-shirt. Very good, very good. So let's talk to my friend Ariel. Ariel, first of all, thank you so much for having me here in Buenos Aires.
Thank you, Vinicius.
I've been with him in his apartment for a few days, a couple of weeks actually. I came here to go to BitTalking, a conference, and I met Ariel in 2019.
Yes.
We've been through Bitcoineta, a project that I just loved being together.
Bitcoineta is a Bitcoin band.
Yeah.
It's a Bitcoin band that travels around Latin America, and on that trip I needed a partner, and so, well, I found Vinicius. And we drove together like for 2 weeks in the south of Brazil. We went from Uruguay
as well, yes.
From Uruguay we went to Rio Grande do Sul.
Yeah, Caxias do Sul, Pelotas
and Porto Alegre.
Porto Alegre, yeah. And let me introduce just a little bit of Buenos Aires, that we are walking here in the city. So you're gonna listen noise of cars, of people, and I like that, it's life. So Ariel, introduce yourself, and,
Sure.
and then after introducing yourself, tell to the people of this channel what do you do for a living, on Bitcoin for sure, and how did Bitcoin got in your heart?
All right. Well, I will start with how it got into my heart.
Okay.
Well, before Bitcoin, I was a gold bug. I was interested in gold, silver.
Oh, you were a golder before Bitcoin?
Gold bug.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
And yeah, I already thought that the dollar is going to collapse. The same with the peso, the euro, all the fiat currencies. So the only alternative that I had was gold. And we were doing a political party, a libertarian political party in Buenos Aires. And one of the members of the party became a Bitcoiner. So he let us know about it. But I did not understand it. I did not pay much attention up until I saw a video on YouTube from this conference, PorkFest. I don't know if you can see it, PorkFest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on that video, there were 3 guys explaining what Bitcoin is and what a Bitcoin world would look like.
And which year was that?
It was 2012.
Well,
2012. Perhaps the video or the talk of the video was from 2012, 2011, I don't know. The thing is that I saw the video, and one of the main arguments of the video was in a Bitcoinized world, governments will lose the ability to print money out of thin air. I mean, they will have it, but people won't choose that money, right? And so one of the ideas of the video is there will be less war in the world. Because
less war.
Yeah, less war.
So Bitcoin is a peaceful money.
Exactly, yeah. Because governments need fiat money in order to, make war. So, well, that argument got me interested or hooked, and from there I started learning, and then there were some Bitcoin meetups in Buenos Aires. We started getting together, and then we realized we needed to do sort of like a Bitcoin foundation, and also a Bitcoin conference. And
so that started La BitConf. BitConf started in 2012.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you helped
2013.
13. And you helped them to start it?
Not for La BitConf because I was out of the country at that moment, but I did help with the foundation.
Okay.
Here we can listen to some Argentine music.
Yeah, we're going to pass by Argentina music here. So de sério?
Yeah. Show this as well.
Yeah, let me show this. Look how pretty it is. Very nice area. What's the name of this area?
Recoleta.
Recoleta. So it's a park of Recoleta? Recoleta's park?
Yeah, this is called Plaza Francia. It's French square. And so, well, then through the years we started like doing Bitcoin evangelizing, right?
Yeah.
Teaching people about Bitcoin. At one point we were like taking cars, driving into the country to little towns and, well, speaking about Bitcoin.
Which year? 13?
2014, 2015. And then, well, the foundation got formed, and we started doing introductory talks. We started doing courses in 2017. I started traveling. In 2018 we had the Bitcoineta.
But I've been Bitcoineta 1 year later.
Yes, 1 year later, 2019.
Okay.
Then we had the pandemic, so the courses and all the talks went online on Zoom. Well, now we're going back to the live events, and that's a good thing. And I'm glad that you can come here, and I'm glad that we were able to do the 10th anniversary of La BitConf.
10th anniversary.
Yeah, it's
too
like
much.
the longest running Bitcoin conference in the world.
Oh my God.
Because the other conferences sometimes they stop doing them.
Yeah.
And La BitConf has been changing from country to country. For example, in 2014 we went to Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
Right. So I was there in 2014. So, well, I mean, that's my Bitcoin journey.
It's a huge journey.
Yes.
You've been in Bitcoin such a long time.
I mean, there are many people like me, and also we're just starting. Even though like it seems like a lot.
Yeah.
we
just started.
Exactly.
But our journey is too long, but we just have started.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just the beginning. Even though if we see the price,
we can sit over there.
$50,000 or whatever. Well, this is just the beginning. Bitcoin needs to go much higher.
Much higher. It's going to be the money of the world.
Exactly.
It's not even one. We were talking about that last night. It's not even 1%. We can
not even 1% of the economy or the money of the world. Yes.
Let's sit just a little.
Yeah. All right.
Two old guys.
So.
When you got into Bitcoin, for sure, if you're a libertarian, if you in the other side of the video knows about libertarianism, knows that we are capitalists for sure. We want make profit, and it's fair enough. But as an ideal, you didn't get into a Bitcoin because of money.
No, I mean,
because most of the people I know got because of the money. They want to get rich. They want to buy today and sell tomorrow and get rich.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning it wasn't so clear that it was going to be such a great investment. You have to think that at that moment we did not know if governments were going to ban it, prohibit it, right?
If they could.
Or if they could, right? So I remember like hearing talks in 2013 of price predictions, and everybody was saying, yeah, it will end the year in $60 or in $100. And in the end, it went to 1,200. So they were off by 12x, right? So at that time, it was more about ideas. Right now, this crypto world we have right now, well, it's more about fancy words or making yourself rich quickly. But it's not that. I mean, with all the recent events about Luna collapsing and also, well, the
For me, all
FTX.
for me, all the other coins, stable one, are going to collapse sooner or later.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah, it's so with that going on, and Bitcoiners have been warning about it since the early beginnings of 2011, I guess. In Bitcoin Talk forum, it was a website that people talked. I wasn't part of it, but whenever they saw the first scams, the first shitcoins, right?
Mm-hmm.
People started warning the newbies, the new people, like, you should be careful with this. It's very easy to scam people with these new projects.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately.
So in a sense, a lot of people are getting wrecked by the crypto bros or whatever. And so I guess this is going to be a learning that people have to go through to learn that Bitcoin is not the same as crypto. Crypto can be anything. Anybody can launch a new coin. Like in a few minutes you can launch your own coin. And that won't be scarce, that won't be decentralized, that won't be safe, right? And so it's easy to say, oh, but it's crypto, right? It has cryptography in it. Therefore, it's the future or whatever. No, it's not, okay? So there's a big difference. The reason of existence of Bitcoin, there are some letters in French, is to be the most decentralized, the most uncensorable, scarce money there will ever be, right? Bitcoiners, we say it's an event that will happen once in humankind's history.
Once
right?
in the history of human life.
Yes, you can have this event of launching a new coin from zero and having, for example, this hashing power, this mining that separates Bitcoin from the rest. And the goal for Bitcoiners is to keep it the most powerful network. Satoshi said the truth of the blockchain is the chain with the most work. Is the chain that can prove that has the most amount of work. Okay? So that's Bitcoin. That's the truth. So we have to keep it the longest chain, the most work chain. And any other chain that wants to come right now, a new blockchain with let's say proof of work, you cannot copy it, you cannot replicate it. Let's say I want to make Ariel coin, right? Well, I can have 100 miners, 1,000 miners be on my side mining my coin, but that's nothing. I mean, in a year or two, or in a week or two, 10,000 miners, 100,000 miners can decide to attack my chain, to rework my chain, to do whatever with it. So was that safe? Was that a blockchain? Was that something secure? No, it was not. That's the real reason why the crypto bros are talking about proof of stake. It's not because of CO2 consumption or hurting the environment. It's because they want to get rich fast and they cannot copy Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And they want to have something like Bitcoin, but it's not Bitcoin. And that's why they introduced this new alternative, which is the only alternative they have. They're always trying to figure out a new mechanism because it's not perfect. Proof of stake, anybody can launch a coin in 15 minutes. You always need a leader, a creator, a foundation to create the coin from scratch, from nowhere. So somebody has to take a keyboard, type 10 million Ariel coins, hit enter, and poof, you need to create out of thin air the coins. Then the leader will send the coins to the early adopters, or the early investors, right? And he will say, yeah, I did a fair distribution. Nobody has more than 10% of the coins, right? So then you have to trust the leader. There's trust involved. He could be lying to you. He could be saying, yeah, nobody has 10% of the coins, but you see the blockchain, you see the addresses, you only see addresses with coins, but you cannot know who controls them, right? Or I could send the coins to my friends, to my partners, to my wife, to my trustee, whatever, right? And whenever we want, we can control the network. We can introduce changes to the network. Yeah, we can corrupt the auditing of the blockchain. So that's not safe. I mean, that's not the same as Bitcoin. And this is going to take time, but people need to learn, go down the rabbit hole, and see that Bitcoin is not the same as anything prior to it, and that Bitcoin introduces you to a new way of thinking, a new set of rules. It's different. It changes the world. That's why in Bitcoin we say fix the money, fix the world. It's not the same to have an economy with the inflationary money or an economy with a fixed supply of money. This is one of the biggest ideas of Satoshi, is we are going to have a finite money, right? Perhaps the number is not so important. What's important is the idea of choosing a number. That's the important thing. So Satoshi chose 21 million. That's a small amount for the amount of people that we are in the world. That made possible that Bitcoin got to $1 very easily, very fast. In 2 years, Bitcoin was $1, over $1. And it's hard for people to grasp why it should cost $20,000, $50,000, whatever, $1,000. But in reality, that's little compared to the amount of Bitcoin that there is. You have to multiply the two, right? The price by the amount. And you can get a sense of, okay, the market cap, which is not perfect metric, but it gives you a rough estimate. And we're still really early, okay? Something that is infinite, like the dollar, the euro, the peso, the real.
Reais.
Real.
Real, in
Real.
singular. Real.
Okay.
Real, but it's fake, actually.
Okay.
Real, it's fake.
It's not real. So
Good joke.
Those are infinite monies. And when an infinite money grows faster than what an economy can grow, it's a system that loses energy. It's a system that loses power. It loses economic power, right? So it's like a boat that has a big hole on it, and water is coming into the boat, and the boat is sinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it happens slowly, and people got used to it. Here in Argentina, people think that inflation is something like natural, something that comes with existence. Inflation. You will always be here, right, with us. And it's funny because at one point in Argentina, for 10 years at least, we did have zero inflation. There was a government that managed to get zero inflation. And almost every other government except that one has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000% inflation per year. Right now it's around 100% a year, if not more. So people get used to it, and it's like in the movie The Matrix, that the machines are sucking the blood or the energy of the people, and in a certain way you are a slave, right? Because what is a slave? If you take 100% of somebody's profit or income, that person is a slave, right? But if I take 90%, is it not a slave? 80, 95, 70, 60, 50? Can you be half a slave, half not slave, half free? Right? So what is the correct number? How much of a slave do you need to be or have to be? So Bitcoin proposes you that you can opt out of the system. You can go, okay, you can be, if you choose, right? It's your personal choice. And the finite money paradigm or way of thinking creates an economy where actually it's a deflationary economy.
Bitcoin?
Yes. Right?
Bitcoin actually it's inflationary, but
it's inflationary in the sense that new coins are being minted.
Yeah.
That's one definition of inflation. Some people take the definition of, are you printing money or not?
Yeah. Bitcoin
right now is printing a little bit of money.
So it's a little bit inflation.
Less than 2% a year right now over the total supply of existing currency, existing Bitcoin circulating. But it has reached a point with Bitcoin adoption, the economy, that the Bitcoin adoption is faster than 2% a year, fortunately, right? You can take an average of what the price has been doing for the last years, and when you take an average, it's over 100% a year, the price increase. So the Bitcoiners experience hyperdeflation. We experience deflation right now, and that really there are lots of stories of Bitcoiners that I had it at one point. I had 10 Bitcoin, I had 100 Bitcoin, or I had whatever, right? And I spent it, buying an iPod, or I spent it buying it an iPhone. Or doing Uber trips, right? I asked for Uber and I paid with Bitcoin, with a credit card or a debit card, right? And it will continue to happen. I mean, prices of things expressed in Satoshis, which is the smallest denomination in the Bitcoin world, right? A Bitcoin can be fractioned in 100 million pieces, and that little piece we call a Satoshi, right? So 100 million Satoshis is one Bitcoin. So right now, I know perhaps this water was how many Satoshis? A few thousand Satoshis.
I would say, let me think, because I needed to convert in reais.
How many pesos was this?
Both 400, both 200 each.
200 each. 200 is less than $1. It's around 66 cents of a dollar, right, for a water. A dollar, it's 1/20th, 1/15th.
I would say in reais, real is around 1,100 satoshis.
Okay, let's say 1,000.
So this is like in Brazil, it could cost R$3.
Yeah.
So more or less 4,000 satoshis. More or less 4,000 satoshis.
Okay, perfect. 3,000, yeah, 3,000, 4,000. So yeah, I mean, there will be a day when we are going to pay 100 satoshis for this, and we were going to look back.
Oh my God, we paid 3,400.
Yeah, how crazy we were to spend 4,000. But you get used to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's part of being a Bitcoiner.
Yeah.
So you learn, and also that sort of thing, it starts to change you. It starts to make you realize the importance of money, of keeping
Saving
it,
money.
of saving, of earning it, right? Of working. Bitcoin introduced the proof of work concept, and I think it's very related to also that you have to prove your own work. Okay, you also do proof of work. In order to live, you have to work, and work is not bad. Oh, we have a Dogecoin there. You can show it there.
The dog?
Yes,
Hi doggy.
little Dogecoin.
The doggy.
Yes.
Look around, people.
So yeah, I was telling like work is not bad. I believe that the crypto bros, they prove that the people that want to do proof of stake has this other mentality, which is the easy mentality, which is, oh, we need to find a way to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, make something
no
out of
effort.
nothing.
Like yes, it's like when you say, oh, I want free healthcare, free education. It's not free. Everything has a cost. There was an economist that said there is no free lunch.
Yeah.
There ain't a thing as free lunch, right? Somebody will pay for it. Somebody pays for it. Or like we sometimes say now, in the crypto world, you are the yield. I mean, you are the percentage that they are skimming, right? So there's no need to go that path, that way. The real path is hard work. It's proof of work. It's work is service. Work is you provide something to somebody that person values a lot. That's why that person is willing to part his satoshis to you, right? Because that person believes he will be better off. He will be in a better position if he hands you his satoshis, and you also do it. You work because you also think that you will be better off. All right? It's good to have satoshis.
It's very good to have satoshis.
Yeah.
Even in the bear market.
Exactly. It's an opportunity to get cheaper
Yeah.
satoshis. And yeah, well, it's good to go this path of serving the other people, of creating a Bitcoin economy where we can provide services and products to each other. I believe we have to start with the Bitcoiners as well, and it will grow little by little. It will take years, perhaps decades. Doesn't matter. We can enjoy it.
Yeah. Enjoy the trip.
Of course, enjoy the trip, everybody. And we will create a new economy. And little by little, people will realize it doesn't make any sense to be living in a fiat world with inflationary currency. It doesn't make any sense. It's better to start dipping the toes in the water a little and you create a Bitcoin wallet, you get your first Satoshis, you learn how to secure your wallet, how to do the backups, how to keep it safe, right? How to plan for inheritance. Do you want somebody to get your Bitcoins when you die? Or do you want your Bitcoins to die with you? That's another possibility, right? So many Bitcoins get lost. And that makes the rest of the Bitcoins available more valuable. So there won't ever be 21 million coins actually alive, running, moving. It will be forever less and less and less Bitcoins. So that's also fascinating, that also creates something that continually appreciates your Satoshis, right? The fact that the economy grows, the fact that the coins, they die. People lose the passwords, people lose the seed phrases, people die, right? So I really think it's going to change the experience of what it means to be alive, because it's not the same to be alive, to have an existence that is hard, that you have to keep on working, and it doesn't matter how much you work, everything will be lost to fiat money, right? If you save in fiat money, eventually all your life's work will go to zero, right? So it's sort of like in vain. That's not normal, okay? That's not normal. They want you to think that it's normal, but it's not. How different is a life where you were born and through the decades of the years, life gets better and better and better. You won't ever be perfect, okay? There will be always something to be done, always be something to improve, something to learn, something to discover. There will always be work, but at least you can enjoy the work. At least you can know that the award, the recompensa,
the reward.
Yeah, it's the reward for your work. If you decide to save it in Satoshis, it will forever pay you more, right? For example, if you believe that humankind will not kill itself, that humankind will continue to grow into the future, then that means that whatever you have in Bitcoin, which is a finite amount, right? You have like a slice of the cake, a slice of the pizza pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a finite amount out of the total. That little Satoshis, if the humanity continues to grow into the future, will forever be worth more. So your Satoshis have infinite worth into the future. It doesn't matter what you have. Okay? So you can start thinking of the future. You can start thinking about legacy, of leaving it to somebody else. Or what do I want to do with my money? In the current world we're living in, there's a lot of political power, right? Or we believe that in order to have change, we need to go and vote for every 4 years or every 2 years. And then we complain because it doesn't work. It's not good. Well, in the free market, in the economy, every day you get to vote with your money. When you decide to buy this water and not buy a Coca-Cola or whatever, you have voted, my friend. So it's important for me, and I tell this to everybody, it is moral and it's good for you to make the most amount of Satoshis possible. Okay? You will be serving your fellow humans, your fellow friends, and you will get to choose and vote what kind of world you want, because you will use your economic power. Okay? And And you can choose, I will create a foundation, I will give it to charity, I will teach people about Bitcoin. You can choose whatever you want, okay? But at least it's your choice, and you have to have the self-esteem and the pride that you are able to choose for yourself, okay? That you do not need a superior being, a political dictating the outcome of the world. You can take it into your own hands. And if the Bitcoin adoption plays like I think it will, Bitcoiners will be the most influential people in the world.
For sure.
They will have the money, the strongest, the hardest money, right? So we need to get the good guys into Bitcoin first. Then the fiaters will come later.
The fiaters.
Yeah, the fiaters. So,
don't be a fiater, be a Bitcoiner.
Exactly. Don't be a shitcoiner as well.
Yeah.
So it's not crypto, it's Bitcoin. There's a difference there. You have to learn it. Okay.
That's why we are here.
Of course.
And how did you learn about libertarianism?
Well, I got introduced by my dad, I would say.
For who?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yes.
Your dad knew about libertarianism?
He knew about classical liberalism, which is the original ideas of Adam Smith, John Locke,
Yeah.
The founding fathers of the United States, Aristotle. In Argentina, we also had founding fathers very similar to the ones in the United States. And he also introduced me to Ayn Rand, which is a novelist, a philosopher, a woman. And when I was 18, I read Atlas Shrugged, La Rebelión de Atlas, A Revolta de Atlas.
A revolta de Atlas em português. Em espanhol?
La Rebelión de Atlas.
Rebelión.
Yes. Because at one point the book was going to be called The Strike. The strike is like la protesta, no?
Mm-hmm.
Or la huelga, which is a strike of the mind of the people that produce. The theme of the book is that the majority of the world will say to you, "Oh, producer, you are the son of a bitch. You are the culprit of all what is wrong in the world, right? Because you want to make money, because you contaminate, right? So shame on you for being rich. I will take half of what you have, or I will take 70% of what you have. And if you decide to save, I will destroy the money that you're saving in. I will make it really hard for you to save energy." And so the problem is that if the producers of the world do not have a good philosophy, they will start to believe what the looters, what the thieves, what the fiaters will try to make us believe, right? And so you have to study, you have to think and realize, no, it's good to produce everything that exists around us, all that here Vinicius has shown you, all these beautiful buildings, these beautiful parks. All of this is a proof of work. Somebody worked on this, okay? And hopefully that work wasn't slave work. It was free work, because somebody wanted or chose that work as the best option that that person had. And so when you adopt this philosophy, you can think to yourself, oh, what I'm doing is all right, okay? It can give you the inner strength to continue on the work, even though if you have everybody against you, or 99% of people are fiaters right now, it doesn't matter.
One day we're gonna switch it.
We need to keep doing the work. It doesn't matter what situation the universe puts you in, you will always have to traction against it, work. Okay? So that's the way of the universe. Yeah, and I believe that Bitcoin is the most aligned thing to the laws of the universe. Yeah, I guess.
And once you told me when we were at Bitcoineta something about the math of Bitcoin and the math of the universe. You remember that?
I guess it has to do with the amount of possible private keys.
Yeah.
Satoshi, he chose a technology that was already free, which is called the hashing function. It's something from cryptography, from computers. Satoshi did not invent this. It's an open technology.
Actually, Satoshi did not invent anything. He took something that all of people.
He created a symphony.
Yeah, symphony.
Right.
He took the proof of work from someone. He took the hash function to another one. He just made the symphony.
Exactly. So Bitcoin is a symphony that is playing. And one of the technologies was SHA-256, SHA-256. And what the 256 means is that the total universe of possibilities in that equation is equivalent to the number 2 elevated to the exponent 256, right? Which means 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 by 2 by 2. We have to do that 256 times. And that leaves you with a very, very large number. It's so large that we cannot even try to imagine it. But one person, or at least I read online, did a calculation and he said this is similar to the amount of atoms that exist on this universe. All right, so imagine how big this universe is, that you have, I know, billions of galaxies and billions of stars, right? And each trillions of solar systems, and well, the amount of atoms in the universe is crazy, right? And so when you pick a private key, which is your password, actually your bitcoins are a secret. Your bitcoins are a private key, a lock, right? A key, they're a key, right? And when you decide to create a Bitcoin wallet, what you are doing is you're randomly choosing an atom of the universe and saying, you are going to be my password. Okay? You are going to be the key to my bitcoins. You can create your own private key. I've never done this, but theoretically, right? You could take a coin, right? A metal coin, and say, oh, heads and tails, cara o seca. You say 0 or a 1, and you're gonna flip the coin 256 times, and you're going to write down on a piece of paper, heads, tail, 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 heads, tail, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, right? 256 times. You will see nobody in the universe
You will be able to do the same.
will be able to do the same. Because in order to do that, you would need to consume the energy of the universe in order to try all the different combinations of zeros and ones that exist, right? It is a finite universe, a finite amount.
It
okay?
is, actually. Do you know? Have you been there?
So some people say, oh yeah, perhaps in the future we find a way to try all the combinations. But well, if that happens, perhaps we need to upgrade the protocol to a SHA-512. What it means is, if instead of using SHA-256, when you do SHA-257, you have double the amount of possibilities. When you do SHA 258, you have quadrupled the possibilities. 259, right? It's 8 times. So actually, SHA 512 would mean that, let's say you pick an atom of the universe, but then you would open it and you would find another universe as big as this one inside of that atom. Okay? And then you could choose an atom inside that one, right? So for the time being, we are using the laws of the universe as a security, as protection. That's why your Bitcoin is safe, right?
That's why Bitcoin is the safest thing ever created in the human history.
Yes. And if you can keep a secret, your Bitcoins will be safe. If you cannot keep a secret, you will lose your Bitcoins. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. Remember that. Your Bitcoins are a secret.
Yeah. So your father taught you about the philosophy of liberal classic, and then you helped to start a new political party. What was the name of it?
But it was called Partido Liberal Libertario.
Partido Liberal Libertario.
It's not longer running.
But you were trying to, or
for
not?
4 years.
You are trying to build it, or you're not trying to build it anymore?
No. Many of the people of the party realized that
It's so hard.
Bitcoin is a better option.
Yeah.
It's
I did the
easier-
same in my life.
It's easier to change the world, changing the money,
Mm-hmm.
than changing it through the political system.
Yeah, I've been in the same conclusion, because when I heard the first time in my life about Bitcoin, it was 2013, and I decided to get into a politician party in Brazil called Novo, new in English, Nuevo. It was kind of liberal one, but it's not that much. And then I realized that's so fucking hard to change the world for political way, that I send them over and said to myself, no, fixing the money will fix the world faster than into politicians. But unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends how the way you see, we need to vote into some liberals, as for example here in Argentina, Javier Milei. Javier Milei is probably the most liberal politician we have in also America, in all South America, South America. He's like the front man of liberal in politicians in South America, and it's very good to have someone like him. And I wish I could have someone like him in Brazil as well. Brazil is going down because now Lula has returned, unfortunately, and Bolsonaro is not even close to something that is considered liberal. So we are with two old guys, with two old kind of thinking, and we don't see any kind of politician in the future that has a liberal thinking, or a new young libertarian, liberal Bitcoiner one. You know, in Brazil it's too old, and Argentina has this opportunity with Javier Milei. But for sure, we are not going to politicians here. We are going to keep it talking about Bitcoins for sure. But it's good to know that there is someone in Argentina like Javier Milei, that it's a Bitcoiner one, and he has even a short percent to win. If he doesn't win the next, he will win 2 or 3 elections. Okay. Sooner or later, he's going to win. And Argentina will have a Bitcoiner president. I can see that. I cannot see that in Brazil, for example. So Argentina has an opportunity to grow faster than Brazil, and we had some lunch. We had some lunch with your friends, Bitcoiner one, and we had nice stories. For example, I met a guy that he was a miner in 2011, and in 2013 he sold all his bitcoins to buy a car. When Bitcoin was like $40, $40 only. When it was $40, he said, "I'm rich. I will sell everything, and I will buy a car." And then, a year later,
a used car. Yeah.
a year later, Bitcoin was like $100, and he said, "I wanted to kill myself."
$1,000.
$1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have this kind of story in your life too?
Yeah. I mean, I have lots of friends, and I also spend I once spent one Bitcoin purchasing one iPhone 7 was. One Bitcoin for one iPhone. So when Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs of 69,000, it was sort of like I could have bought 100 iPhones with that money.
Yeah.
If I had kept that Bitcoin.
Yeah. I once in 2015, I spent 2 Bitcoins to record a music from myself. I wrote a music and I wanted to go to a studio and record my music. And
how much?
2 Bitcoins.
2 Bitcoin.
Because in that time Bitcoin was like 1,000 reais. It was like 300 or 400
Well, I
dollars.
guess the best.
Eu gastei 2.000 reais. I spent 2,000 reais. But each Bitcoin was 1,000 Bitcoin.
I guess that the best conclusion or the best take out of that is that you should continuously be earning and spending, but the idea is you should spend less than you make.
Yeah,
That's the key.
it.
So it's not just, oh, I have these bitcoins, I spend them and I don't replenish them, I don't buy new bitcoins, or I don't work for Bitcoin. No, you have to always be taking Bitcoin in as well.
So to finish our conversation, because we have been talking for like an hour, tell to the people to the other side of the video, what can we do to improve a Bitcoiner world? How can we were talking about that last night actually, how can we introduce the idea, the philosophy that's more important than the financial of Bitcoin to the new ones?
Well, I believe that we have to start with the people that are closer to us. It's sort of like you vibrate next to Bitcoin, and that's why some people were able to learn about Bitcoin in 2009, 2010, 2011, whatever. And you should not hurt yourself because, oh, I got into Bitcoin in 2022. No, it's not that. I mean, you're still early, okay? If you can understand Bitcoin, you're seeing it, okay? So once you get orange pilled, once you get hooked on Bitcoin, my take is spread the word, spread the message. Satoshi, his ideas, right? And you will see that some people will resonate, some people will understand, some people will not see the value in it. Some people will only, like we said at the beginning, will just want to make money fast, money without effort. No, I mean, you will see who gets a message, and we will transform people's lives and the economy little by little. There's no other way. I mean, there's no way to Bitcoinize the world in a day, right? Because you need to change people's hearts, people's minds, people's culture. So it will take memes. It will it will take work, okay, but it's the best option. So eventually it will get cold, people will use it, so enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. Thank you for
See you,
this interview, this chatting. It's been a while. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to introduce you to this channel. So, people, this guy is my teacher. It's my
You
Bitcoiner
can follow me on
teacher.
Twitter if you want.
Yeah, please.
It's at Ariel Aguilar. Ariel, Aguilar. Ariel Aguilar.
So, see you, my friends, and let's walk a little bit here in Buenos Aires. See you soon.
Gostou do vídeo? Então ajude a levar a minha palavra adiante. Curta, comente, compartilhe e divulgue. Viva Satoshi!